Good evening, Europe! I'm Matteo, I'm 24 years old and I'm from Italy. And now I'm gonna talk about my research on Eurovision Song Contest. But first, jingle! No? We don't have time? Okay, go on. I've studied at the University of Turin, where this year the Eurovision Song Contest will be held, and I've graduated in communication science with a final work called When Music Unites and Divides, the Eurovision Song Contest between Nationalism and Politics, developed with the help of Professor Jacopo Tomatis. In this work, I talk about the Eurovision Song Contest, which is the oldest singing competition in Europe and one of my biggest passion. But is it that good? Of course it is, for we as fans, but behind the contest there are a lot of problems linked to the nationalism and politics issues.
A few minutes later.
My work is divided into three parts. The first part is dedicated to the Eurovision Song Contest and its structure. That means that in this part I talk about the history of the Eurovision Song Contest, the structure of the contest, so the fact that there are two semi-finals and a final, the country that participate in the Eurovision Song Contest, and of course the voting system divided into jury vote and public vote.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
An important aspect is given to the block vote, which is an important phenomenon in Eurovision Song Contest. Many countries are friends with other countries because they have in common the language, the traditions, the cultures, and much more. So it is typical to see in Eurovision Song Contest a country voting for a friend country. For this reason, the Eurovision Song Contest is not only about music, but it's also about politics and friendships and alliances. In Europe, in fact, there are a block of countries, for example, the Scandinavian bloc or the Mediterranean bloc, and also the Slavic bloc. Every country that take part to this bloc usually vote for one another in order to receive many points and gain a good position in the final scoreboard. Before I talk about the second part of my work, which is the most important part of the research, I want also to present the third part, which is dedicated to the Italian point of view about the Eurovision Song Contest. Italy is really important for the Eurovision Song Contest, firstly because the Festival of Sanremo, which is the Italian music festival, is the inspiration for the Eurovision Song Contest, and secondly because Italy is one of the main country, one of the big five that are in the contest, and because this year the Eurovision Song Contest will be hosted by the city of Turin. So there is a really important relationship between Italy and Eurovision that is not only a positive relationship but also negative, because Italy, for example, left the Eurovision Song Contest for 13 years.
Flashback.
Second part, which is dedicated to the nationalism and politics, which is really important in the Eurovision Song Contest and not so evident. When we talk about nationalism in the Eurovision Song Contest, we are talking about languages, customs, cultures, traditions, and much more. Every country uses the Eurovision Song Contest as a platform to show their culture, customs, traditions, and so on. For example, if we talk about Poland, we can think about Tulia's Fires of Love, which was the Poland representative for Eurovision in 2019. where they show a traditional costume of the Polish culture. Or if you think about We Are Slavic by Donatan and Cleo, the Polish representative for Eurovision Song Contest 2014, where they used traditional dresses, but they also had some criticism about those dresses because, according to the critics, it showed the attribute of the girl on the stage. One of the most evident elements of the nationalism that we find in the Eurovision Song Contest is represented by the logo or the symbol that every edition decided to create. If we look at the Eurovision Song Contest 2017 logo, which was hosted by Kiev in Ukraine, we can see an important element of the Ukrainian culture, which is a necklace called namisto, which is formed by a series of bows of different shapes and different colors that represented the uniqueness of the Ukrainian people and the European people. In fact, the necklace is also an amulet who represents prosperity and health. So it is a positive message to all the European people and all the minorities, as we can also see in the slogan of that year, which was Celebrate Diversity. Another logo that shows us the nationalism in Eurovision Song Contest is that of the 2009 edition in Russia. The logo, in fact, was a phoenix, which is not only a symbol of Renaissance, but it's also an important symbol of the Russian fairy tale. So it's an element of the Russian tradition, of the Russian culture. We can also think about the logo of the Eurovision Song Contest 2012 in Baku, Azerbaijan, which was a sun created with flames because Azerbaijan is also known as the land of fire. So there is an important element for the cultural image of Azerbaijan. Some traditions and cultures can be seen not only in the performance itself, but also in other moments of the Eurovision Song Contest live show. For example, during the opening act or the interval act. If we think about Sweden in 2013, we can think about the interval act called About Sweden, where the presenter Petra Mede shown some traditions and aspects of the Swedish culture. For example, talking about fjords, Waterloo, ABBA, and meatballs of IKEA. So this was my presentation of my work, but there is much more. So I invite you at the Science Slam in May, where you can find me, you can talk with me, and I will really pleased to know you and talk with you. So this was Matteo from Italy, and this was the presentation of my research. See you soon. Also in Turin for the Eurovision Song Contest 2022. Hi!